No amount of promising is going to change the fact that you've invited somebody with, I think, an issue with alcohol to an event that has loads of alcohol at it. I will say that I wasn't really going to cover the Streamer Awards because, to be honest, it's run by streamers for each other. Like, you know, it's a lot of people giving awards to their friends and stuff, which is very cute and very nice. And is that any different to like the Academy Awards? Probably not. But you know, it's its own little thing, and like, you know, everyone gets together and dresses up and acts fancy and important, and that's a cool thing to do. Well, the Streamer Awards happened, and it was a little. Like, there were a few little corners that could have been buffed, you know. I think it really showed us the importance of having music when people walk on and off stage. But, you know, it's the second one they've ever done. Cool. The issues come in later. As we know, streamers love a bit of drama. You know, you're never going to get a group of streamers together and not get a bit of drama out of it. But it seems that what happened is that the after party was ended after 1 hour. Here's the thing. There was an after party. Obviously, people had travelled from all over the country and all over other countries to get to the Streamer Awards, to dress up, to have a good time. So the after party takes place somewhere, and this is like the official after party. And
it's not the official after party. Okay, so I actually learned this. Yes, official,
but then why was she paying for
this? This is really weird, right? Okay. So QTCinderella, this is actually a really specific odd thing, but I just find it really weird. Yes. QTCinderella hosts the entire Streamer Awards, right? The entire thing. And then, afterwards, she hosts her own private special after party for just her and her friends that not everyone is invited to, just her friends. And she got really upset that she met so there's a bunch of people at this party with an open bar who she didn't know, who was a friend of a friend, and she was like, "Get out! You know, you're not supposed to be here." She was getting security to get people thrown out, and I was like, in my personal opinion, I don't want to be like throwing shade or anything like that. I think it's really strange to throw like an extra exclusive after party that people aren't invited to who came to the...
Even though you invited them to the main thing.
Yeah.
And also I think it's confusing because I would assume that the party being thrown by the same person who's throwing the main event.
Yes.
That's the formal after party. That would have been my assumption,
personally,
right?
I feel like that was a mistake to throw to like...
Yeah, I would have definitely shown up expecting, oh, well, everyone who went to the event is now going to this after party.
Yeah, that's very logical. You know, that's very sort of sensible and normal.
Even though it is normal that, like, more people might throw their own personal after party, right? Like, I'm sure that there's, like, a Golden Globes after party, but lots of individuals will go, no, come back to mine. We're going to do our own thing without everybody there.
I found that really weird, and I felt like that was worth just mentioning really quickly because it's such a weird aside.
So, right... They're having the after party, and this girl called Justaminx is invited. And Justaminx, it seems, because this is all a little nebulous, has a issue with alcohol.
She'd recently been banned from Twitch for like 3 days because she got so inebriated on stream. It was considered like self-harm.
Yeah. So Twitch, just to be clear, because people are going on about this as well, you're allowed to drink on Twitch. You just can't drink to the point of being like unable to control yourself, right? You're just like flopping around like a fish. So they had the after party, and let me watch this to see how much it covers before I repeat myself. Right.
Streamer and attendee of the Streamer Awards, Justaminx, tweeted out, "That was 100% the worst seizure I've had since I was 15. Okay. I still am struggling regaining memory from even yesterday." B responds by saying, "I hope you were okay. But still, did you get drunk after you promised people you wouldn't?" Minx responds, "I assumed getting drunk at the after party would be fine. Clearly it was not." And then the creator of the event, QTCinderella, responds, "Oh, go fuck yourself. You were..."
So, what's important to bear in mind here is that, because I wasn't sure if they covered it. What happened was the after party, which wasn't the official after party, but certainly was an after party and was hosted by the person who ran the event. She, I think, rents out a big house, throws a party in it.
It's in a residential area, which is, for one, quite strange. And so she's already said it cost her like 50 grand to host this, right? The entire party, the entire after party is 50 grand on its own, out of her own personal money for her friends.
But the rule was that, like, there can be no
incidents,
disruptions, you know, things that would cause a scene. And basically, Justaminx shows up, drunk, gets drunker, proceeds to fall over.
So I've heard a lot of things. I don't know how much of this is true. So Psychono, who is a YouTube streamer who's quite famous, he apparently she was trying to push him in the pool because she wanted to go swimming, so she was trying to shove him in the pool. Then apparently she was trying to tip over the gas heaters into the pool, which is also very dangerous and bad.
Domestic terrorism. What are you doing?
Yeah, very bad. And then was basically, I think, just being a bit loud and rowdy, right?
And was like causing a scene, doing all this stuff. So she gets kicked out. In getting kicked out, the venue, wherever it is, decides that's it. You've broken your clause and the party's over.
Well, that's the thing, is that she basically, as she's getting dragged out, I think she gets a little bit pissed off, right? She's like, I don't want to leave. What the hell's going on? So she goes full dead body weight, right? She just, nope. Like, you got to drag my entire body weight out. You know how hard it is to move someone who's just going fully limp. Yeah. In this ensuing incident, she hits her head, and then she just lays there, eyes closed. People are kind of saying she was, being a little bit like cheesing it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But she had to go to the hospital. They had to call the ambulance. She's not responding. Security are like, we got to call the ambulance. In calling the ambulance, less than 1 hour before the party started, or after the party started, it gets shut down because the venue is sort of like, that's an ambulance, that's breaking your clause, you're out.
Yeah. So.
And she prepaid for all the drinks, $50,000.
Yeah, she prepaid for the whole thing. So like QTCinderella, who's thrown the whole party. The party's done. Money's gone. No money back. You broke your contract. Goodbye. Now, I hope to hell that she had event insurance. But who knows?
Who knows?
Now, the thing is, what you were then seeing at the beginning here is Justaminx trying to sort of cover for herself, right? So she goes...
Twitch streamer and attendee of the Streamer Awards, Justaminx, tweeted out, "That was 100% the worst seizure I've had since I was 15. I still am struggling regaining memory from even yesterday."
So she says it
B
was
responds
a
by
seizure.
saying, "I hope you were okay. But still, did you get drunk after you promised people you wouldn't?" Minx responds, "I assumed getting drunk at the after party would be fine. Clearly, it was not." And then the creator of the event, QTCinderella, responds, "Oh, go fuck yourself. You were drunk before the after party. I almost had you thrown out of the show because you were yelling and making everyone uncomfortable. I've tried everything with you. I hope this is your rock bottom. Get help." Minx also tweeted out, "For the people commenting that I'm making up my epilepsy for an excuse, I can guarantee that I had a seizure when I was pushed over. I slept all day yesterday when I got home from the hospital. It's obviously not an excuse for ruining the party, but I'm not lying about my epilepsy." QTCinderella then responds, "Minx, you did not have a seizure. I was there the entire time. Also, no one pushed you. You were just lying. This picture is from you getting liquids at the ER." And then a minute or two later, she ended up deleting this tweet. Twitch streamer and attendee...
So, right?
It's rough, dude.
I was like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that she hosted this whole after party. And yeah, so QTCinderella basically went into some detail about it here, and you can hear it from her mouth to see what she had to say rather than me putting words in her mouth. The drama of it all. So this is QTCinderella.
But then, something that's very personal that I'm not... But then, something that's very personal that I'm not trying to create any unnecessary drama here, but
That's fine. At this
Minx
point,
attended the after
entitled.
party and got kicked out and inevitably got the party shut down because it was in a residential neighborhood. And I want to unpack some things here. I personally, and I don't want this to become a rag on Minx segment, it's not going to be that. I have personally done everything in my ability to help this woman. I have tried everything. She has been my friend for years up until a point last year when she had pushed me past my boundaries where I had to say, hey, like this is too much for me. This is unhealthy for me. You are destructive to me. And so I had to walk away, but I have tried everything. I've spent time, money. I've tried everything. So I've tried everything. So I don't want people to think this is lack of trying. I think if you've watched my content, you've seen Minx and I used to be very close, and now I've separated myself from her completely. However, this is a person that I did used to care about, even though I do feel as though I've lost her. I don't recognize her anymore as a human. Not like as a human, but I'm saying like she's not the same person when I talk to her. I do not know what happened, and I am someone that suffers from mental health issues. I am not kidding you when I say I've tried to do everything.
Something kind of helps some people.
Anyway, she reaches out to me out of the blue a few weeks ago and brings up Streamer Awards. And I have a moment where I think, you know what? This is, again, a person I really have cared about for so many years. I'm going to give her another chance. And I said, Minx, because she told me she bought tickets for the balcony. I said, Minx, you can come sit on the floor with all the other streamers. You have to promise me one thing. And she was like, what? Anything. And I said, do not drink. Be completely sober. You need to promise me this. Like, promise me. And she was like, I promise I'll do anything. I was like, great. And like, I was like, genuinely, like, I will show you the messages multiple times. Me just saying, I'm not kidding. Promise me. And I promise. I said, completely sober. I promise. Like, she promised me over and over again. Anyway, I get to the party. She's wasted.
So this is the thing, right? So from my perspective, obviously I have never run an event like the Streamer Awards.
No.
That being said, I have run multiple large 1,000-person streamer events. And I will say that the issue I think she's got there is that she cannot separate herself as the person who runs the event and as somebody's friend. And I think that the responsibility, and it's caused me issues in the past, is one of those things, is that when you're running an event, you have to act in the event's best interest and in the people around you's best interest. I don't blame her for trying to be nice to somebody who she cared about in the past. I mean, I'm actually quite relieved because Justaminx actually had tickets to Twitch London in the past and didn't come.
This is another thing. It's going to be like neither here nor there. I've seen Justaminx's stream. I've watched a few of her streams. I like her. I think she's a funny person. I think she's a really good entertainer. But as someone who, my father was an alcoholic, it's just one of those things where it's like you can't.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a lesson learned that Justaminx can obviously have really intended to do right. You know, I think often when people are saying, no, I promise, they don't mean to break it, but especially if you're having a substance abuse problem or a potential addiction issue, like, no amount of promising is going to change the fact that you've invited somebody with, I think, an issue with alcohol to an event that has loads of alcohol at it, right? And that's kind of the thing. And I think that really what she should have done is prioritized her event and the safety of the other people and the safety. And like, she was very upset that she spent so much money on the event and that it then couldn't happen. And I'm like, you really, unfortunately, you played yourself, right? You let the liability in and she behaved as you expected. And I think that if she's promised you she's not going to drink, and then by the time the after parties happen, she's already drunk, you are well within your rights. In fact, I would actively encourage you to say, not today, go home. Go somewhere else. I'm not watching it. Because that's kind of or I'm not taking part in it. Because that's kind of the thing, is your event is only successful as your worst attendee, right? You can have the best event ever. Like TwitchCon last year may have been great, but someone broke their spine in a ball pit. So it isn't great. That's a failure. Your event has flopped. You know? At the end of the day, you have to make all the necessary, calls that you can, and you can't be responsible for every single action, and sometimes accidents happen, but you know, if you see someone who you know is an alcoholic coming in, I'm like, babe, what were you expecting? Like, what did you think was going to happen?
You want to like always think of your friends in a good light, right? You always want the best for your friends. You always want all that sort of stuff. My dad was an alcoholic, you know what I mean? Like we asked him to stop drinking a bunch of times. Sometimes it's one of those things where like you want to hope, you cross your fingers, you try your best, but then if someone burns a bridge, like there's only so many bridges, you know what I mean? There's only so many times you'll give someone a chance, and it looks like Minx fucking that up for. I mean, obviously QTCinderella's like put a lot of work into the Streamer Awards. I can make jokes and I can be sort of like the Greg however you say his name, the Aslan Awards was like
way better,
insanely better. But I never run anything as big as the Streamer Awards, and it looks like she did a really good job regardless.
And I mean, I also think that at the end of the day, she tried her best. I think that you need to just realize if you're running this and you do not want these scenes to happen, you need to be the person who steps up and stops it. You can't just rely on other people. You've got security. You need to say, security, she's out. I'll apologize to her tomorrow.